Bitcoin rewards consistency. And what happens a lot with people that I feel like don't take as full advantage of Bitcoin as they can is, and I'm talking to people that are like already in, right? Like you already watch a lot of Bitcoin videos, you already like philosophically understand it, you already like, what happens is you get taken down a path of trying to just like learn 4 different hardware wallets, like run a node, like understand seed recovery. Like you just get sent down kind of, I call it like the hobby path. You're like, oh, or you get sent down like, oh, now I need to make a Nostr account because open source social media is better than closed source social media. And you just like, or it's like, oh, like I need to know about the latest like Bitcoin improvement like proposal because it turns out that like if we don't fix that, then like something bad could happen. Like, and you just try to learn all of that stuff. The ROI is not there on that. The ROI on making Bitcoin like a technical hobby is not there. If you already are like a computer software person or just like open source, like if you like nerding out on technology, sweet. That's awesome and terrific and great. It still stands though that you could probably spend a little more time on the like economic personal finance side of it. But again, if that is already the types of hobbies you have, then that's great. I think that can fit in neatly. What you don't have to do, I'm just going to be the voice on this, like one of the voices on this, like you don't have to go down the route of like understanding the tech side of it. You just don't. You don't have to put that above taking financial action also. And I would like, or you don't have to like, oh, you've taken financial action in the past and now you're like skewing over here to be like, I have to understand all this and learn all of this and like do my own self-custody before I can buy more. Like Bitcoin rewards simple consistency. Simple consistency, simple consistency. OG Bitcoiners have been great at talking about Bitcoin, but they've been bad at talking about personal finance. OG Bitcoiners were also great at talking about the philosophy of like separating money and state, but they were not great at making Bitcoin make sense to just the regular American. And the regular American can take consistent action on stacking up pieces of Bitcoin, and that gives them diversification away from the S&P 500, period. And diversification away from fiat money as Bitcoin continues to grow on corporate balance sheets and government balance sheets and high net worth individual balance sheets. Taking $65 and trading it for 0.001 Bitcoin, even though that seems like a small amount of Bitcoin, doing that consistently while just doing your other personal finances, that is going to pay huge dividends into the future.
And a big part of the reason why people are still confused about Bitcoin is because so much of the content here on YouTube still skews down the hobby path. It still skews down the hobby path, or like, here's how to be a digital nomad, or just like, here's, what happened when the government took us off the gold standard and, took all the private or outlawed private ownership of gold. Like, there's a lot of that hasn't been updated to like, we're in 2026. We're in 2026. Bitcoin is becoming ingrained in the S&P 500. Okay. And so it's just a different world, and not every person talking about Bitcoin has kind of loaded the new firmware. Okay. Now, look, does the philosophy side still matter? Totally. Like, there's still a big part of me that cares deeply about the philosophy side, but I care so deeply about the philosophy side that I'm here on YouTube talking about Bitcoin in a mainstream way because there have been huge strides on the philosophy side. Bitcoin is more accepted and more kind of winning than it ever has before. So when you combine that with the price being 50% off the all-time highs, and you combine that with the S&P 500 being overweighted into the same 7 to 10 tech stocks, and the ones that are performing well are starting to be related to Bitcoin, like SpaceX has Bitcoin on its balance sheet. So one of the largest IPO stories that has happened recently still has this Bitcoin undertones in it, and you have the ability to stack the raw commodity Bitcoin like $65 at a time, adding that up. And Coinbase, Robinhood, Fidelity, Schwab have all come a long way since back in the day. Back in the day, you used to have to talk about the hobby side because that was all there was to talk about. You would talk about how when Bitcoin goes mainstream, maybe this will happen, and then here's how to learn the tech side of it yourself. Great. That's not the world we're in anymore. We're not in that world anymore. So I still think there's some people that get a little bit tripped up on starting the $65 a week or the $65 a month or the $65 a day, whatever it is, because they feel like they're like hearing mixed messages from kind of all these, different kinds of people. And so Bitcoin is the best combination of what index fund investing is and growth investing is. It's the best of both worlds just smashed together. In both of those worlds reward simple consistency. Simple consistency.